勉学に励んでも頭が良くなるとは限らない。教令院にいる者たちを見ればわかることだが。
How about you? Yuma Uchida. Uchida Yuma. Go on, speak. Speak? I think he'll just do his idol instead of his idol voice line. Is that who it is? It is Barack.
Yes.
Can hear his laugh though. I love it. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I don't know. This is a random video I wanted to do. Let's do it. While I'm sitting here, I'm gonna do Alhaitham's wrist. I didn't really plan this properly. Anyway. Alhaitham's birthday, February 11th. Sumer Academia, Dendro Volans. Current scribe of the Sumer Academia, a man endowed with extraordinary intelligence and talent. He lives free from the searching eyes of ordinary people. Anyway. Capable person. Character details. Oh, this is a bad idea because I'm not good at reading. I just want to read it. Capable person who keeps a low profile for too long is often perceived as someone with a mysterious identity and ulterior purposes. Alhaitham himself is a powerful rebuttal to all these cliché views. He is a brilliant man, but he is only an ordinary employee of the academia with a stable job and a cushy house in Sumeru, leading carefree and comfortable life. Jeez, how do you read that? Sometimes people find it next to impossible to catch the current scribe in his office. Oh. Little do they know about the scribe other than his name Alhaitham, and that he is supposed to be present during work hours. The fact is, no one knows his whereabouts, and all they can do is leave documents and files on his desk. Alhaitham couldn't be more satisfied with how things are. The man might be at home or in the library, but he'll never appear where people wish him to be. Having an entirely unpredictable schedule affords undisturbed freedom. Oh, but I know someone who knows where he is. Character strike, what? The title of a scribe may sound impressive to most academia students, but this fancy name is just a product of the academia's culture to use unnecessarily high-flown titles. In truth, the scribe does not have to be present at all major meetings, nor does he participate in core decision-making. The scribe is simply responsible for classifying and archiving important documents. However, in Sumeru, where books and manuscript documents were once managed as a resource, the scribe is one of the most in-the-know people in the entire academia. One can say that this position is rather similar to that of the Grand Conservator. Conservator? After all, the person who manages texts and will have privileged access to profound wisdom. As the current scribe of the Sumer Academia, Alhaitham acts in perfect compliance with this role. He does not attend any non-essential meetings, and when he is required to be present, he only records key points, jotting down other minute details based on his mood. This guy. If the meeting does not affect his personal interests or fails to pique his curiosity, he will not be bothered to give any comments. He does make comments, however, when someone has come up with something offensively foolish, and one should expect these comments to be more blunt than necessary. Yes! Such is Alhaitham's life philosophy. Whenever the need for his judgment arises, one must be ready to accept any means and privileges he might require to make that judgment. Fortunately for everyone, Alhaitham notes that he is too lazy to possess too many ambitions. All scholars seek knowledge and the truth. Some do so for fame, while others for ambition. And some others enjoy conquering knowledge and the truth, transcending them, and savoring the sense of superiority in the process. Alhaitham isn't any one of them. He is only driven by what intrigues him. He believes that many scholars have already become lost in their pursuits, taking the truth as a tool or even a shortcut to self-realization. Oh, oh my gosh. Okay. However, when one seeks it or not, the truth is always there, hanging high above the sky like an illuminating star. It is not the end of a trip or the destination of a match. It is and shall remain constant, regardless of human existence. Also, human pursuits will not simply end after certain knowledge has been acquired. Though people never doubt that they can claim the fruit with joy and are prepared to sacrifice everything for it, their desire for knowledge will keep them going. Those who fail to see through the truth set themselves on an endless path, while those with clear minds will say, the truth did not come into being to serve anyone, and whoever is unable to harness their desire for knowledge will be destroyed by it. Oh, okay. Right. Okay. Such is the rule of the nation of wisdom. Of course, if you want to blend in, you are welcome to fake such a posture. Okay. One mustard. Okay. I read it properly. After story 2. I shouldn't rush this. I gotta. Because I already, read sneak peeks. Well, peeks. These stories from Alhaitham Kaveh. Because I shipped them. Anyway, I want to actually read them for myself. Character story 2. To the people of Samaria, those who played a part in the operation to save Lesser Lord Kusanali are deemed to be heroes, yeah. However, a great many who make such compliments don't really know the full story. Yes, of course, like everything else is. They simply repeat a fragment of a tale that they find inspiring. As one of the protagonists in their stories, Alhaitham has no opinion whatsoever about being a hero, nor does he believe that these stories are worth talking about. Meanwhile, Alhaitham has declined the Academia's offer to become the Grand Sage multiple times, but given the chaos in Sumeru, Alhaitham eventually agreed to serve as acting Grand Sage temporarily. Yeah, of course, he always is Lord. Financial freedom, ooh. It already defied common logic for someone to refuse the titles of Sage and Grand Sage, and yet Alhaitham went further still, resigning and returning to his humble role as scribe at the agreed upon time instead of clinging to power. Yes, let's go, I love it. If he did manage to gain anything from it at all, it was the financial benefits. His salary stayed the same after his resignation. Yes, I've seen it. Not to mention the several high-quality research projects that he was able to complete on his own. There is no doubt, then, that he will lead a well-off life. In addition, his interpersonal relationships have also improved, as he has more or less befriended the other participants in the Archon saving operation. Yeah, so like Sino, Dia, yeah. We have gotten close to the point where Alhaitham might greet these people with a nod or two when he sees them. Yes! Sometimes, Lesser Lord Kusanali will also invite Alhaitham to the sanctuary of Surastana to discuss various matters. He has met many people there. The General Mahamacha Sino, the mercenary Dia, and Nilu, star of the Silver Theia. Wow, damn. Nilu even once asked him, how did you manage to come up with such a bold plan? When I think back on it, we were all quite lucky to not get hurt. Yes, especially Nilu when she danced in front of all those. Nilu hesitated before she continued, and Alhaitham understood her confusion, for anyone would have wondered how he could have stayed unscathed despite the influence of the divine knowledge capsule. But in Alhaitham's eyes, he was never in danger, for he had never used any capsules. Yeah. As for how he had managed to do that, it was all thanks to his role as a scribe. As a scholar, lucky enough to have read the Akasha system manual, he had studied the headset and canned knowledge, such that he knew how to alter the status signal of the Akasha. He had even once thought of reversing the holographic shield of the Akasha terminal and projecting it to the back of his head to offer protection from attacks on that front. Bro! okay? I see you. Okay. It has been proven that a plant lays the foundation for everything and that prior research lays the foundation for a plant. Alhaitham, who had no interest in boasting about how he made on skates, answered Nilu's question with another. As far as I know, Sino and Tia are also curious about this, yet you are the only one who has raised this question. Were they just to try to ask me themselves? Okay, I see why people like just this tidbit of Nilu being brave, I guess brave enough to ask this. I see, I can see you. But still, my OTP is strong in my heart. It's actually a bit difficult for me. Anyway, let's go. Alhaitham seldom's what? Character story 3. Alhaitham seldom discuss. I'm already wearing glasses, why am I having a hard time? Alhaitham seldom discusses personalities or dispositions with others. He believes that the prevalent theories about them are wrong. Oh, wait. Yes. Okay. My brain. Okay. Yeah. Suppose someone insists that one's character has nothing to do with their abilities and opinions. The person with such a view will find themselves unable to judge any aspect of another person. One's character. Oh. Okay. Okay. A smart person will often hold different attitudes towards a foolish person and another smart person. Oh, and the foolish often think differently when facing success and failure, like everyone else. People's views on Alhaitham are proof of this point. Given his superb talents and egocentric personality, no one wants to get too close to him, but still they see him as an outstanding scholar. Sorry. They're admiring him, but they don't want to be like friends. Yeah. Okay. This is exactly the public image Alhaitham desires. Many scholars are rigid and inflexible, but Alhaitham is not one of them. As a matter of fact, his occasional sarcasm in part reflects his philosophy. Society, or the collective, relies on rules to regulate individuals, and language is one of these regulative tools.
Oh.
Turning language against its original design serves to challenge unreasonable rules, and one can thus stay out of trouble. The word talented is abused within the academia, and so are born differently, touched by the archon, and such. Yeah, makes sense. In Sumeru, one's talents are a trial. Outstanding talent is not necessarily seen as a perfect gift, but it also divides people. Of course, talent. You're a genius. Yeah. For instance, to compliment someone with unimaginable achievements, ordinary folk often call them a genius or superhuman or a prodigy, but upon reflection, one will notice another layer of meaning that even the speakers themselves have not realized, that the talented and the ordinary are categorically, that's hard to say fast, categorically for different. Okay, it's hard to say fast for me. If someone is capable of things that others aren't, they must have been endowed with some special abilities and gifts, but it's more like practice, isn't it? Of course, okay. Excessive compliments for and wild imagination regarding outstanding people only serve to alienate them. Oh, true. Okay, I'm actually reading. Okay, they are successful because they are different. Such is the typical excuse favored by underachievers. Speaking fast, okay? These ignorant notions mean nothing to Alhaitham. Though he does not know his way around people, he will not waste his time on such trivial matters. True. Rules define borders and set limits. Yet these rules should not be judged solely on the number of people they limit. Therefore, Alhaitham has come up with his own set of rules with which he perceives everything and challenges the world. It is the crystallization of his philosophy to maintain these rules of his own fashioning. I read it. It's a period. Okay. Alhaitham acts on his own will and deals with anything that appears harmful in his eye. Oh. Okay. Oh, it's long. Only with objective judgment can one see the truth. By acknowledging the differences between individuals and recognizing the varying levels of capabilities and mental capacities, one will discover the answer right away. Judgment from others is inconsequential, but to leave the right of judgment in others' hands is equally to denying oneself. I already read it, but it's like I cannot comprehend. Oh, it's like you don't have your own. Okay. To be different should not simply be a label given to you by others. Oh. You should be alone. Okay. Rather, the talented should have long understood that their uniqueness is also a gift. To put it another way, when the talented person truly understands that they are different and that they are indisputably ingenious, only then can they truly understand the value of their abilities. Okay, it's like if you acknowledge yourself that you can do stuff, you do it. And as for cowards who remain blinded by perspectives advocated by the great majority, they have not yet found their true selves. Oh my goodness, I am catching strays. Let's go catch. Character story. I'm okay. Oh wait, let me. Oh, it's lagging. Oh, okay. Character story 4. To live a peaceful and comfortable life, one must meet a few requirements first. Oh, congruous? Oh, I don't know what that means. Wait, let me just search. Congruous meaning. Congruous means in agreement or harmony. Okay, harmony. Harmony. I know that word. I know harmony. It's like, okay. A harmonious personality, right? Like that. And logic, adequate fighting prowess, a slow-paced job, and a cushy house in the vicinity of one's office. That's him. Well, actually, this congruous personality, though. Oh, well, actually, he fucks with people. Alhaitham has checked all the boxes above. He would never deny that no place suits him better than the nation of wisdom, where social capital is linked to one's academic abilities. His current house which is located near the academia, is one of the academic resources that he gained through promising research projects. This house's story dates back to Alhaitham's student. Okay, wait. Am I getting to that? Yes. This house story dates back to Alhaitham's student years. Yep. I think I know. Let me just here. If his classmates still remember him, they will recall that he was not one to mingle with the crowd. As a result, he has only participated in one joint research project. Oh boy, am I familiar with this. Okay. Despite its eventual success, the project resulted in a huge quarrel and a parting of ways. Yeah. Little do people know about Alhaitham's part in the story, though they might be acquainted with other protagonists. Okay? Bro, let me read. Stop being giddy. Okay. I'm breathing. Okay, the shallower architect Kaveh. Oh, okay. I'm okay. No, I'm not. This academic incident is not very widely known, and in truth, the tale of two geniuses falling out due to differing perspectives is an all too familiar one in academia. That makes sense. Always differing opinions. Anyway, but even though their collaboration did fall through, neither of them will deny that the other party's exceptional brilliance. Okay. I feel like I read it wrong. As for their research, the academia would later transfer the relevant assets to the researchers involved as per regulation. Okay, I'm here. Okay. Although the two did not continue that research, its great success in the early stage still serves as a compelling proof of Alhaitham's academic ability. Later, the academia even used this project, which they had forgotten to cancel, as a reference for allocating housing resources, and as such, Alhaitham was given a very decent house befitting his participation in this genius project. Okay. But the other contributor, Kaveh, had never approached Alhaitham regarding that allocation. Did he not know? It wasn't until later that Kaveh had someone inform Alhaitham in academia that he was not in one of a house and thus Of course, Kaveh, of course. Probably still had his homework then, okay. I'm getting distracted. Oh my gosh. When they met... Shut up. Okay. When next they met, Kaveh had gone bankrupt. Oh my boy. According to Alhaitham, this former friend of his possesses a personality and values that are not congruous with his abilities. Oh, whoa, I can't comprehend that. What? Okay. The two differ on too many things and cannot reach a consensus even today. Allowing Kaveh to stay in this house provides Alhaitham with an interesting research topic. Bro used him as a research. Legally and socially speaking, since Kaveh has previously forfeited the right to his half of this, I'm seriously wondering, they gave just a single house to these two men? Okay, fine. Tevat has its own laws. Jeez. Whatever. Curious. Okay, legally, I already read this already. Again, legally and socially speaking, since Kaveh has previously forfeited the right to his half of this house, he should pay the landlord during his stay, and that we all know too well. We know all too well, yeah. However, paying rent would, to some extent, deny his contribution to the research through, which contradicts the academic spirit. Yes, let's go. An intriguing matter to consider, but Alhaitham has no interest in the answer. Thus, he has taken his broken former colleague in, collects rents as the rightful landlord, and gives his colleague some household chores. He is well aware of the dissatisfaction Kaveh might have, but it matters not to him. As far as Alhaitham is concerned, Kaveh is a familiar face, similarly lacks familiar attachments, and is the polar opposite of himself as a scholar. That is to say, an excellent mirror, and I see that all the time, and I love it. Okay, human vision is limited, but it can be perfected through the presence of another genius. Let's go. Taking this opportunity, Alhaitham will be able to observe other aspects of this world and thus understand more things that may have been otherwise unfathomable. I read it wrong, but okay. So I see, we get a whole story with his roommate. I love it. Character story 5. Oh dear, my throat. I'm really not used to reading out loud. Character story 5. The nation of wisdom places academics and knowledge above everything else. As such, a scholar acknowledged by others within the academia usually possesses a higher social status. Alhaitham was born to just such a family of well-received scholars. His parents died very early in an accident, and he was raised by his grandmother, a Kashawar scholar. I also love this fact that his grandmother is a Kashawar scholar, while Kaveh is also one. Okay, just the little things. I love the little things. Alhaitham doesn't have many recollections of his parents. He learned from his grandmother that they were both employed by the academia, with his father being a mentor in Haramadan and his mother a renowned scholar in Vahumana. It's the horse. And this is where he is. Am I right or am I wrong? Let me just check my notebook real quick. I think I think I'm right. It's the bull and the horse. Give me a second. It is. It's his darshan. Same darshan as his father, and his mother is more history stuff, I guess. Let's go here. Alhaitham has inherited his parents' intelligence, and he was always the sharp kid amongst his peers, so much so that he started reading abstruse academic journals at around the age of 7. Of course, having noticed his exceptional talents, Alhaitham's grandmother suggested that he attend school early. However, it only took half a day in the academia. Oh, yeah, okay. I don't know, I'm distracted again, but I love seeing the fan arts of HAIKAVEH in the academia uniforms as children, but I know they didn't know each other back then, but it was cool art. I love it. Anyway, however, it only took a day for little Alhaitham to report this back to his grandmother. Everyone he met there was boring, and he preferred reading alone to listening to their meaningless courses. We are that's just mentioned a while ago, but she really is a genius. Oh, I'm an underachiever. Okay. Alhaitham's grandmother saw his parents' talents and personalities in him, and agreed to let him stay home to be self-taught. Okay, so Alhaitham, to be self-taught means to read, break down, reorganize, and question. Due to his family background, he was lucky to be exposed to books made of paper. Yeah. Interestingly enough, he takes more pleasure in reading his grandmother's hard copy collections than obtaining knowledge from the Akasha directly. As opposed to the Akasha, books are inflexible and rigid, and there is no guarantee that their contents are error-free either. To use such a medium of knowledge is to dance with potential misinformation. I love it. Because books aren't always updated, especially right now. There's a lot of online, but that's besides the point. We're not talking about this real life. We're talking about Alhaitham's. Let it go. Oh, where am I? Oh, the majority of people in Sumeru hate this, but Alhaitham derives great enjoyment from it. It was from reading that he acquired the ability to learn, analyze, and even rectify, and ultimately he has learned to question. If the rustic and primitive method known as reading is ever any trouble, it is trouble that Alhaitham appreciates. We love a man that reads. Well, this specific fictional man. Let's go here. Oh. Alright, okay. Alhaitham's grandmother told him, "You and your father both like reading. Now, I can't say if the two of you have been given too much share of wisdom or not, but always remember that being different is a gift." Okay, I see you, Grandma. Oh! Sorry, I'm not gonna say what I just thought there. Knowledge is to be recognized, pursued, and trusted. But one should never forget to question it. I love this. Okay. I'm reading. I'm comprehending. Yeah, here. Perhaps only those who come to such an understanding will not be easily moved by canned knowledge and other convenient knowledge media. Yikes, they're calling. They're calling us out. Jeez, we have internet now. Jeez. And only someone who had already met these prerequisites would have casually read the Akasha manual sealed deep within the house of Dana. Okay. As Alhaitham's grandmother had said, books contain useless information, and sometimes in large amounts, but his sharp mind will sift through them. And if a book he has read lingers in his mind, it will come in handy one day. After his grandmother's passing, Alhaitham managed her funeral on his own, inheriting her properties and her small library. Before she passed away, Alhaitham's grandmother gave him this earnest blessing. My feels. Okay, you are such a smart child. Many such people have large egos and a propensity to act on their own. Oh, don't make me cry, bro. I'm just reading, okay? Oh, you are astounding and possess a broader horizon than ordinary people. This is not a bad thing, but you must take care. To have a clearer mind than others. Okay, you must understand that vain pursuits are but dust, and that you must discern your paths with the greatest of wisdom. Okay, later, Alhaitham applied for the academia and was immediately admitted, scoring high marks in the Haravatat entrance exam. Okay, bro, read properly. He was informed that his grandmother had also applied for him to be able to attend classes in other directions. Me! Let's go, Grandma. Following his late grandmother's advice, Alhaitham has always kept a low profile and a clear mind, and always makes decisions for himself. We love an independent man. Okay, sorry. Years later, when Alhaitham moved into his new house, he brought all those books over. While sorting through them, he flipped through a few that he had read long ago. The journals that had well wishes written on their title pages were from his mother's collection, and the ones with reference materials inserted between pages and notes on the margins had once belonged to his father. On top of them, there was a thick book with an exquisite emerald-colored cover. Oh, wait. Okay. On the title page, his grandmother had written thus: "May my child Alhaitham lead a peaceful life." And he's leading it. Oh, my heart. Okay, let's go. The doors. Is it doors or doors? The doors belt pouch. A sturdy and green belt pouch. People often mistake it for a wide belt, an impression perhaps reinforced by its color being in perfect harmony with Alhaitham's outfit. There are only a few things in this pouch: keys, some recent read of Alhaitham's, and a portable music player that goes with his headphones. Alhaitham presently made the music player when he first became the scribe. It is connected to the headphones via cables of the same color. He sometimes uses the gadget to play music and other times to block noise. The spectrum. Oh, uneducated as heck. Bitutu. Oh, my reading. Oh, vision. Okay. The value of language is not limited to words. A unified language helps to govern thoughts. Language is the bottom line, rules, weapons, and violence. By making our language unique, we can open up a special path to the relative complication of might. My reading is gone. Okay. Governing thoughts may appear meaningless to some, but to others it has a very significant meaning. Individuals' pursuit of uniqueness gives rise to various languages and media. People are controlled by language under many circumstances. As Alhaitham flipped through these pages, reaching the end of the book and its back cover, he realized that an intricate ornament had been underneath the tome this whole time. Of course, he knew what it was. Oh, okay. What book is this then? Oh. Bro, what the heck? The vision was just between. That's so fitting, obviously. Okay. However, this item did not mean much to him. A believer might have perceived this divine item to be a thing most lofty, but to him it was no more than a useful tool. Alhaitham was out on a research trip when he was given the vision. He didn't plan to dwell too much on it. It belonged to him, after all, so what difference would it make if he checked on it tomorrow, as opposed to today? Okay, procrastinating. Okay, and just like the knowledge he has acquired, what he has obtained should always remain in his possession. Oh my goodness. I guess I'm also using this as an excuse to read, because I don't really read. Well, no, I do read, but I don't read out loud like this, so again, I'm not used. My voice isn't used to it. My throat, I guess. As much as I want to do the Japanese, I want to hear the English too.
I'm Alhaitham, the Academia scribe. If you wish to access an archived file, please submit an application according to the prescribed format. Oh? Your form isn't ready? Not to worry. You can come again on the next working day. My work hours are posted outside the office.
Who's the other character that prefers like going out on time?
The scribe's work is simple, which is exactly why I took the position. Book learning alone is not enough to cultivate intelligence. All those scholars in the academia are prime examples.
You gotta do the do. Just don't read it, you do it. Right? Is that what I'm getting at?
There have been many poorly written applications lately. I guess I'll just have to reject them all.
Meanwhile, Jean does everything.
Going out on a rainy day is the worst.
I feel you. I hate going out in the rain on a rainy day.
It's just a natural phenomenon, so there's nothing to be afraid of. Unless you're beneath a tree.
I don't want to experience that.
It's getting cold, you say? I feel fine.
Oh, sure.
This weather is perfect for doing nothing at all.
God damn, okay, Alhaitham Kaveh.
Curses. There's sand in my shoes.
I hear this too many times.
It's a little early for me. Let me get a cup of coffee first.
Okay. I'm come. Oh shit. It's crowded. Yeah, okay, wait, I want to go to Kaveh now. We're not done. Good morning. Good afternoon.
If there's nothing to do, then I'll just put on my soundproof earpieces and nap for a while.
I love that.
I'll be taking some time for myself now. Goodbye.
Bye.
I hope my roommate won't be hammering away on another one of his projects in the dead of night. Actually, I'd prefer if he wasn't home at all. I really don't want to wear my soundproof earpieces to bed.
Then kick him out. I don't like him. But I guess he did say he uses Kaveh as a research topic. Okay, we got a Kaveh mention. Not the name, but Kaveh.
Rather than lacing my words with rhetoric, I prefer speaking factually.
I know rhetorical questions are questions you ask, but you don't need an answer to. Oh, rumors.
Oh? You're concerned about all the rumors you've heard about me? Don't bother, because I don't care whether you believe those rumors. Just don't throw extra trouble my way, and we'll be fine. Don't be offended if you try to greet me on the street and I don't respond. It's simply because I'm wearing my soundproof earpieces. That's all.
I like using that excuse.
It seems you're perfectly capable of taking care of yourself. So much so that you even look after that little companion of yours. I don't have any suggestions to offer you, and frankly, you probably don't need my help.
Yep. I like that he's not all a traveler.
To be completely honest, this dendrovision isn't of much help to my research. However, there's no denying the effectiveness of elemental powers when settling a physical dispute, so it still proves useful at times. Truth serves no master. Humankind is not a vehicle for knowledge, nor is knowledge the aim of humankind.
It's surviving.
There are many things in this world that may catch our eye, but don't always believe what you see. If what we see in the world were all there was to it, then there'd be no need to think, would there?
People, when they only read the titles but not the whole story, whew, I've encountered so many. Let's go here. Hey, Naida!
One should neither dismiss nor overly revere the divine. Gods require followers, and they are also part of a biological hierarchy. That's why I don't take any pride in the fact that I helped rescue a god. I hope Lesser Lord Kusanali doesn't take offense.
I'm sure she doesn't. She's so precious. Let's go to Kaveh.
Kaveh tends to be overly sensitive about everyone and everything he crosses paths with, and he's constantly making a fuss about nothing. Maybe it's because he's too emotionally fragile.
These, translations, English translations, sometimes are a bit off from the Chinese. The original Chinese stuff. So it's kind of sad. They're taking away some stuff. It's like even words have synonyms that may come across differently. So that's how it sometimes comes across. I think it's so hard.
Someone set up a stand on the street saying that for each handmade keychain they sold, a child in poverty would be given a meal. Kaveh bought at least a dozen. This is Sumeru, where even healthcare is free. I needn't say more.
He's precious, man. But I do like he's always getting duped.
Apparently. A lot of people think he has a bad temperament, but I don't think they're giving him a fair chance. When Kaveh built a house right over a withering zone and created a huge mess, it ended up being a real headache for the forest rangers. Even so, this forest ranger didn't hold it against Kaveh. He even invited Kaveh to his house for a meal. Maybe it's good people like him who allow people like Kaveh to survive.
Tainari is a good person too. Okay. Anyway, this is a big thing for HAIKAVEH shippers. I guess he's HAIKAVEH shippers. Because he keeps mentioning Kaveh here. But even though I'm a big too much of a HAIKAVEH shipper, it's just because he uses the he for Tainari and then Kaveh refers to Kaveh, because it would be too confusing if it just uses he for both of them. So he. Whatever. I love it though. I'm delusional and I love it.
She's sharp and always keeps an eye out for herself. She knows how to take life by the reins and make her dreams a reality. I'm not condoning her actions, but just because we stand on different sides doesn't mean that I can't appreciate her attitude towards life.
Honestly, I think I need to read Dory's stuff because I'm more negative on her because of what she's doing to Kaveh. But then I understand the point of like, wanting money. But I also heard that she had a sister that she couldn't save because she didn't have enough money. So there's that. So I'm just like 50-50 on her. Anyways, good designer.
The hive mind case certainly added to the Matra's workload, but my conscience is clear. The root cause of what ultimately transpired actually has nothing to do with me at all. I'm sure Sino appreciates that, as he hasn't once approached me about the incident.
So you only get this after you do his story quest. Okay.
The strengths and weaknesses of a performing artist are quite clear. Nilu knows how to play to her strengths, which enables her to live a happy and simple life.
Yes, you love a girl.
It's a waste for such a capable person to remain among the Eremites. If only she'd consider my suggestion to join the academia. Our work would become a lot easier with someone like her around. But a predictable life isn't exactly her cup of tea. I can understand that. What a pity.
Everyone just wants Dia to be with us. I love it. But also, like, what was I gonna say? Oh, I love the headcanon that Alhaitham and Dia are gym buddies. It's my favorite. Okay, let's go here. I'm too excited. Okay, more about Alhaitham. What?
Most people are wary of interacting with me. Perhaps they're afraid, or maybe they think I'm difficult to get along with. I hope to keep things this way.
Love it.
I've never been interested in social interactions, and as you can see, my life is more comfortable than most. I'd say this is proof enough that being social is not one of life's necessities.
But it also depends on your job. But I get you.
Every person should have something that they believe in and hold on to from beginning to end. Otherwise, it's easy to succumb to vicissitudes of life and find yourself being led astray.
Bro said vicissitudes. A change of circumstances or fortune, typically one that is unwelcome or unpleasant. Change, alteration, alternation, transformation, metamorphosis. Oh, okay.
Once order is disrupted, the consequences spread like wildfire. I'd like to avoid such a scenario, so I can keep my life intact and uninterrupted.
But you have your roommate.
I'll occasionally go to the tavern for a drink after work. That's not what you needed to know about? Huh. I was under the impression that sharing what you do in your free time is more personal than telling someone your thoughts or opinions. After all, you can get those from anybody on the message board.
And I know those messages. From.
I like reading difficult and abstruse books and seeing others scratch their heads in confusion. I'm only joking. I don't delight in others' misery. And rarely do I encounter a book that's difficult for me.
Oh, this bitch. Ah, this bitch. Okay, sure. Bro, wait. They added that laugh. What the heck? That took me aback. Okay, really? Rarely do I encounter a book that's difficult for me. Okay. I mean, obviously. Makes sense. He's been reading those since he was 7.
Based on my observations, many people inflict trouble upon themselves. Life already has enough hardships. No need to add to them.
I keep getting called out.
Taste supersedes presentation, else you risk overcomplicating the purpose of food. I think this is simple enough to understand.
So you make it too pretty, but it doesn't taste good. Well, I mean, it makes sense.
It's difficult to eat soup-like dishes while reading.
Uh-huh. True.
I can taste your mastery of the seasonings.
Thanks.
A contemporary flavor. Not bad. Let's not eat here. Mind if I, take it home?
Another voice line. Another favorite voice line of mine. Bro, you're gonna... Oh, I'm reminded suddenly of Ayato bringing weird food stuff to Toma, to feed him. Bro, what's up with these guys feeding their, friends? Well, it's not like Ayato, so we're excited. Whatever. Just eating the weird food.
Happy birthday.
Oh.
I've always thought people are a little too enthusiastic about celebrating the day they were born. Wouldn't it be better to apply all that enthusiasm towards their daily lives and improve their standards of living? But you seem to have done well for yourself. I didn't know what kind of gift to get, so I'll just set up a special application channel, reserved for your submissions alone.
The heck should I use your special application channel for?
Thank you. So it wasn't a one-time only thing.
Bro?
I think you're more excited than me about this progress.
Because you get stronger and you added stats. And I can read this because I don't have them. Oh, is it finally time? Nope. Good thing I saw that exclamation because of these.
Here you are.
I'll just go through it.
Flicker. Scatter. Diffract.
Yeah.
A process of elimination.
Oh, it was this.
Diffract.
It was different. I thought it was different.
Here you go. Don't let any of it roll away now.
Okay, for a small breaking.
Huh.
What a drag.
Oh, drag.
The plan's changed.
So hard to be a voice actor.
I need more time.
Ugh.
Allow me. As expected.
Bro.
I didn't foresee this. I miscalculated. A grave oversight. How bold. Well now.
Yes?
Oh.
Let's get down to business.
And defeat the Huns.
How long will this require exactly?
I don't even use you, so you won't know. I suddenly had an idea on what to do, because I can't read. Oh. This voice actor. Well, I'm scared of it. I'm scared now. Because of that incident. I don't want to add it to this one. I'm just gonna gush over these two. Whatever. I'm scared to be too attached. Anyway. July 9. Huh? July? Oh, it is. I suddenly forgot what number July is. July 9th. Independent Design Studio with real hits. Dendro Parasale. Oh. A renowned architect from somewhere who perhaps cares a bit too much about so many things. He is an aesthete troubled by reality. Is that pronounced aesthete? Aesthete. I'm scared. Oh, I think I remember these are really, really long. I have an idea, but I don't know. Meow. Right. I wanted to put this in Google Translate and let the voice read it. Character details. In a land brimming with as much talent as Sumeru, one is practically spoiled for choice when it comes to designers. But when one speaks of architects, few are those who will not subconsciously think of Kaveh. The Kashara War graduate was once named the greatest architect in several decades and is known as the Like of Kashara War. They know that title because Alhaitham calls him that all the time. Kaveh himself, however, is unfortunately unmoved by this title. Such lovely names and titles are to him acknowledgement and shackles both. That's me. Oh my god, that's me. I've read parts of these already. Well, I mean, both Alhaitham and Kaveh's source parts. For example, Kaveh's insolvency remains a matter of shame for him to this day. A person with little to no standing could just admit to such a thing, but a famous architect cannot. In fact, such undue candor might result in a crisis of reputation for him. So Kaveh cannot but avoid this topic to save face, and be forced to masquerade as a man living in leisure. Thanks to his abilities as a designer and his astounding aesthetic attainments, people believe in his talent, and thus in Wasate also. And this was it. After all, what could possibly trouble Kaveh, architect extraordinaire? I know. Oh no, wait, I'm scared of some of these because they're sad. No, wait. Up to today, one can hear Kushara War students discuss and speculate about their alumnus Kaveh at the Palace of Alcazar and various parts of the academia. In the hearts of his Darshan mates, Kaveh is a genius nigh unparalleled in the last few decades and an architect of great fame. Why am I reading so fast? Kaveh has, by since outstanding works, engraved his name into the history of the academia. If you are to meet Kashara War students, it wouldn't hurt to listen to them extol his achievements, single-handedly designing the Palace of Alcazar, renovating the landmark lighthouse of Port Ormuz, modifying the port's elevators and cargo handling structures, his pioneering role in the spatial optimization of the peripheral areas surrounding the forests and valleys. The list goes on. Oh, right. Clad in these achievements, Kaveh has become more than a simple name, but a synonym for achievement in the field of design. Many wish they could have a resume like his. Brilliantly talented in school, invited to work in various major construction agencies after graduation, and leaving after several years to do work under his own name. All outsider readings of his life stop here, and almost none know of the hidden truths behind the stories, the truths that Kaveh himself is trying to hide. I'm scared to read his stuff. Yeah. Okay. It is true, of course, that he is an exceptional designer. It is a shame that this has not allowed him to live the perfect life that others think he does. He would summarize his past experiences in this way. Misunderstandings are troublesome but inevitable. All people are vulnerable to momentary lapses in judgment and to the influence of rigid labels. For example, the first reaction to a designer is the fantasy of someone who earns more with a flick of their fingers, who becomes famous with but a few strokes of a pen. And when people think about the arts, the first thing that emerges is the bizarre, unfounded image of some lackadaisical, self-centered soul who swings between bouts of gloom and mania, and who is all too fond of bossing others about. Yeah, Kaveh does not fit any such imaginative fantasies. He cannot complete his designs in a single stroke, instead approaching every job earnestly. That's my man. He dresses like a successful person, but in truth he does not judge the merit of a project by the remuneration alone. He is principled beyond most other people in Sumeru, believing that art is the wellspring of all life and design, and yet does not forsake humanistic purpose or practicality in the process. Indeed, he is willing to make some compromises for these two things. Sometimes he compromises on rest time, other times it is the ornamentation and trappings of the project, and sometimes it is his own pay. What do you mean sometimes? Most of the time. After many years, he finally succeeded. The palace of Alcazar was completed, and he returned to Samari in glory. His colleagues had naught but praise for the fabled palace atop a large tree, stunned as they were by its designer's astounding imagination. They gorged themselves upon the way in which the structure united architectural function and human narrative into its elegant design values, resulting in luxurious craftsmanship that yet exists as a testament to precision and elegance, rewriting the mountains, rewriting the atmosphere of the surrounding mountainous space with its very presence. No one would say that the palace of Alcazar was any less than an exceedingly successful experiment. Is it experiment? Those colleagues, however, were blissfully unaware of how Kaveh went bankrupt over this project due to a mix of personal principle, the vagaries of life, and other problems layered atop one another. After all, the truth, much like the troubled gestation of the success, has remained well hidden thanks to Kaveh's efforts. Yeah, okay, I'm scared. Okay, same as this other guy that I know. Kaveh was born into a classic scholarly family in Sumeru. His father was from the Ritawa Darshan and once worked at the academia. Layla, stars, sky, astrology, what's the other word? Astrology, astronomy, astrology, and those are different. Like, those are both stars, but they're different. Anyway, and once worked at the academia, while his mother had graduated from Kasharawar, and much as he would become later in life, she too was a famous architect. Eee! The prettiest mother. Okay. Influenced by them, Kaveh was interested in architectural design from a young age. They would sit in the living room as he sat at home playing with the block puzzles they had bought for him. Theirs was a house in which words were not necessary, and Kaveh would gain his understanding of home from this time. No, it's coming. I can see that, however. Stop. You stop it. You stop. Ah. Bro, my throat is already hurting, but then you're gonna add this. Okay. Oh my goodness, okay. However, their blissful days were not to last. Sometime before he joined the academia, his father would, at his encouragement, join the Interdarshan Championship. The competition itself was not a complicated affair, but his father, who became a favorite to win, would miss becoming a champion by a hair and then proceeded to go missing for a time afterward. The Parade of Providence event. I will just finish this first. I'm gonna say my piece. Okay. Soon the bad news came. His father had perished in an accident in the desert. The suddenness of this misfortune threw mother and son into disarray. His mother was hit particularly hard. Obviously, that was her husband. Jeez, pronouns. Being a sensitive soul by nature, her husband's passing would cause her to break down, spending much time in anxious, gloomy thought. No. Okay. As for Kaveh, he would see his father's laugh and promise to bring something nice back for him as he walked out that door every time he closed his eyes to sleep. I've already read parts of this. I didn't really want to feel emotions again, damn it. Young Kaveh thought that had he not said anything, his father might not have taken part in the contest, and he would not have gone missing afterward, and finally perished as a result. But no matter how he begged, the past could not be changed. His father's death, his mother's agony, all these things that could no longer be taken back were on the account of a single thing he had said. I'm trying my best to read. Okay. From that day forward, he would live under the shadow of that guilt. His mother would say that her husband was a man with a good heart, and that life at such a person's side made her happy. Indeed, after his passing, she would never again smile. Oh, home went from a sanctuary of warmth and light to a cold and lonely hall. Oh my god, I'm having a hard time reading. More than a while ago. Kaveh would often find his mother sitting on the sofa, staring at her trembling hands in silence. She could neither draw anything at all, nor even conceive of a design in her mind. Each time this happened, Kaveh would feel like a giant hand was crushing him to the ground, and he would question himself, were it not for me, would the family have ended up like this? At that time, he was still young, and he could do very little. Out of guilt, he would do his best to keep his mother company, and he would never wear a disappointed face around her. My eyes are getting blurry. Trying to support her in any way he could, even if such was a but a drop in the bucket. Okay. My eyes. Okay. I can see better. I won't let the tears fall. Okay. Okay. It was amidst this chaos that Kaveh would reach schooling age, and having passed the entrance exams, enroll into Kusharawar. During this time, he would inevitably spend less time with his mother. She would thus travel to Fontaine to ease her soul a little. Therefore, she would receive a job offer, and upon returning to Sumeru, she informed Kaveh of the good news. Kaveh knew that this would leave him to live alone, but still he agreed, and even saw his mother off on the day she departed. It's not like he could stop her from leaving him alone. Wait. It's not like he could stop her from leaving him alone. Yeah, that's true. That's right. Because he feels the guilt of his father's death. Come back. Stop. Okay. He would continue to look on even after her ship had long left the harbor. I'm still emotional. He would deeply miss her. Okay, but he knew that it was best that she left the place that had come to represent so much pain for her. Okay, for her sake, Kaveh would never admit that he was lonely. God damn it. Okay. No, I'm not. Okay. He assured her that he was all grown up now and could live independently. And if he should be kept awake at night by loneliness, pain, or memories of their now broken family, why, it was his just deserts for egging his father on to take part in the competition. Okay. One guilty of harming his parents so deeply deserved all that came to them, and so he must live on bearing that brand. Given that such thoughts have been his constant companions since, one could say that home taught Kaveh how to care, and also utterly purged him of the ability to knowingly harm another person. I'm going crazy. I can't read properly. Well, I haven't been reading properly since a while ago, but still. Ah, should I take a minute? Like, I can't read this. I mean, I already know a story, but reading it like this affects me even more. Where am I? I'm lost. Okay. And the many years afterward, he would remain trapped by his personality and ideals, desiring to help any and all who asked of him, and unable to truly oppose others, even if he wished to try and resist on some matters. Despite the good he often does, his guilt remains. Stop this. More than this, he cannot accept pure goodwill, for when he makes choices, he believes that he should be punished and finds some comfort in the pain. If Kaveh were a sculpture, he would be one that appeared all but flawless, but which would suffer utter destruction if the weak point in its core were to be found. Oh, this is disgusting. I'm disgusting. I can't even see him anymore. My eyes are too blurry. This is too much. I'm exhaling too much. My mic. My headset mic. This sucks. Reading it like this really hurts more. Let's go. Gosh, where am I? Characters. Am I still here? Character store 3. I'm okay. No, I'm not. Okay. I'll continue. Woo! After graduating, Kaveh's first project was helping out a group project with other students of the same darshan, though they only had different mentors. This being his debut. Actually, I've been having a hard time saying that. Debut. Debut, right? Debut. Damn it. Let me just search it up. Debut. Pronunciation. Well, I just meaning. Debut. They don't say T. I'm a dumbass. Okay, debut. Okay. This being his debut as the person responsible for design, the work weighed heavily on him. But he is, by his own admission, a stubborn person, and he would spend all his energy on his work, and thus would he shoulder the work for others, heedless of the hour, on all manner of projects for 2 entire years. Kaveh. Of course, okay. Okay. Once he had gained enough experience, Kaveh left these cooperative projects behind to work in his own name, gaining a clientele who appreciated his style. Some would ask him to design buildings, and this marked the beginning of his career. By dint of his hard work, he was able to save up a good sum of mara. It did not take long, however, for Kaveh to hit a bottleneck. The demands of the market were very different from academic design. It was more pragmatic, more snobbish, and the client's requirements were far harder to meet than his mentors had been. At the same time, academic trends in Sumeru were disrupting his work. He began to realize that his ideals and career goals were, as certain someone had said, not easily attainable. Is that certain someone? Someone I know? It is Alhaitham. I think I remember him saying this. Or am I just being dumb, as usual? Anyway. I'll continue. New iterations of the schools of thought and viewpoints amongst researchers were constantly being created, and there was no lack of those who would engage in self-critique and self-reflexive questioning, with changes and improvements in social factors encouraging such considerations. As such, things that were once recommended might someday become objects of criticism, whether they be actual books or art. But other than those who had given themselves wholly over to art, no one could understand what artists in Sumeru had to endure. As academic accomplishment became ever more prized in Sumeru, researchers would turn and value pure academic accomplishments and practical skills more highly. The six sages would grow ever more radical in their ways, and the idea that the arts provide no real benefits started to become mainstream. Thus, those who worked in the arts would be marginalized, and those subjects that were often related to the arts sought to distance themselves. The engineering projects that Kaveh came into contact with were highly streamlined, bereft of flair or style. He would suggest various beautiful designs only to have them rejected on the grounds that they were meaningless presentation, or that this project only needs practical buildings. His original pursuit was to make good designs for all that incorporated both artistic beauty and practicality, but now that the arts had become a joke and people rejected their necessity and value, no one would give him freedom to work on his designs. Kaveh, believing that architecture was indeed art, resolutely opposed such viewpoints, but his job required him to have technical support and investments, and so he could not escape these circles, nor could he simply put his views out there in the open for fear that he might drag too many others down with him. With his dreams and career now at odds, Kaveh gave himself a long vacation, but when he returned home, he received an unexpected letter from Fontaine. It was from his mother, and she wrote that she had found someone whom she could entrust the rest of her life, and as such was going to remarry in Fontaine. It was this news that she would, with a great trepidation and expectation, relate to her only relative. I mean, I'm glad for her, but also like my guy is suffering here, but also I guess he's has his friends. Kaveh wrote back and congratulated her, and would even go to Fontaine to take part in the wedding. It was a simple affair, and only a few guests were present. Seeing his mother smile once more, Kaveh felt glad, but felt lost again almost immediately afterwards. His mother would leave all her property in Sumeru to him. 3 days later, he would return to Sumeru and once again felt the terror of the empty home. God damn it. The mere act of sitting on the sofa tormented him with heretofore unmatched solitude. Here he felt the old... I don't know how you say that. Let me just... Adage meaning? Adage? Adage. Adage. Okay. Adage. It's like adage. Like add an age. Okay. Remember that? Oh, here he felt the old adage of all wise scholars being fulfilled. Do the right thing, no matter what it costs you. Oh! It's like letting his mother be happy in Fontaine. Ouch. I don't deal with anymore. I'm being hurt left, right, and center. Character story 4. The more he continued to work in the construction industry, the stronger Kaveh's displeasure with the current state of society grew. It was at this moment that the turning point came. The wealthy merchant Lord Sangamabe, Dory, sought him out to construct a private mansion. Lord Sangamabe had become fairly famous, but Kaveh had no idea that this lord's name was in fact Dory until they met, nor did he have any reckoning of her power and riches. This girl, I swear. She only had 2 conditions for this mansion, that it be large and extravagant. Kaveh would probe her concerning the sign style and other details, but she was unconcerned with such. Even amongst his clients, Dory stood out as a bit of an oddity. She did business, but seemed to care little for what researchers thought. She wanted her mansion built in a secluded place for business needs, and so she claimed. And Kaveh was told not to ask too many questions, and simply aimed to make a truly awe-inspiring estate. As for aesthetics, Dory neither cared for nor stopped him from doing anything he wished. Kaveh realized almost immediately how rare it was to come by such a commission. A mansion construction project without limitations meant that he could put his all into it. Party A would fork out the resources, while Party B would do the work. Was this not how their business should be? And was allowing academic views to restrict development and growth not utterly wrong-headed? So it was with that Kaveh threw himself in planning these designs with a sudden fervor, and in his role as Party B, he advised Dory to make some adjustments. Oh my god, I'm scared of this. A true mogul could not simply live in the mountains. If this estate was to go down in history, it had to be something of truly legendary beauty. A garden was a must, with the flowers carefully selected, of course, with the input of professional botanists. Conceptualization must be bold, the planning conscientious. Oh, wait, how do you say that? This is conscientious. Oh, the planning conscientious. Okay, the buildings themselves would prioritize practicality, but the requested warehouses and facilities would rest upon a luxuriant foundation. And as for location, the cliffside in the northern mountains looked good. Lord Sangamo Bay would awaken every day with a window onto the loveliest natural views that could be had. Though Dory would constantly insist that the mansion did not have to be close to a cliff, Kaveh's engineering spirit and aesthetic appetites drove him on to convince her otherwise. Thus did the project begin with a flourish, and as days passed, work proceeded apace under Kaveh's watchful eye. Yikes. Okay, here it comes. Yet his ideals would not be so easily achieved, for though Kaveh's diligence in selecting a site had been immaculate, and he had made every consideration, he could not have anticipated the speed at which the withering would expand its reach that year. That damn withering. Okay, when the work was 70% complete on a quiet night, the withering crept in silently. Shit, okay. Destroying all that had been built overnight. The sight of his creation's devastated corpse struck Kaveh like a furious thunderbolt. Dory, who had rushed down upon receiving the news, was in incomparable fury. Fury. Not the furry. Demanding that Kaveh leave the project. Dory, it's not like it was his fault. That damn withering. Okay. Though the forest rangers quickly dispersed the withering, the buildings were beyond saving, yet he knew that it would be difficult to ever get a chance of this sort again, and so he begged Dory to let him finish the palace of Alcazarzaray. Dory would point out the crucial problem with stark sharpness. He had been the one to insist on the change of site. That's true, I guess he insisted on that location, so... Okay, I can see that. Both sides. Well, not both sides, just this side here. But I can understand a bit Dory here. Well, I can understand Dory a bit here. Okay, but also she's like pretty sneaky. Now that the palace had been destroyed, taking the investment put in thus far with it, how could the project continue, even assuming that she did not pursue the matter with him? If they were to rebuild the structure, who would bear the cost for the losses? Kaveh sat atop the ruins as he contemplated this all night long. He had his savings and the property his parents had left behind, that had once been his home. But now it was just an empty building. And what was a home anyway? An architect like him knew better than most that the construction bereft of a family or people to dwell in it was no home. It was simply a building. When the sun rose, Kaveh returned to Sumeru City and sold that house. Adding all the proceeds from that sale along with his savings to the funds Dory had provided with him, he was able to come up with 70% of the necessary mora required, with Dory coming up with the rest. Thus was the palace of Alcazarzaray built on a beautiful sunny day. Kaveh had given all he had possessed to build a legendary palace that did not belong to him in the slightest. He did not earn a single mora on this project. On the contrary, some slight overspending on the follow-up work would leave him heavily in debt to Dory. While Kaveh made a token show of resisting, he knew in his heart that he could not deny the fact that he did indeed owe this debt. His heart was once again consumed by that old guilt, and Lord Zangamabei, shrewd merchant that she was, yes, could immediately perceive that he was paying not for her sake but for that of his ideals. And if someone wanted to martyr their entire fortune on the altar of their ideals, who was she to stop them? Like, more for me. Who cares? Like, construction was ultimately just business, but ideals were priceless. As for how Kaveh would come to be homeless afterward, that is a different story. I'm so emotionally tired. What? Is this it? Is this it? Is this it? It should be this one. I'm ready. No, I'm not. I need to drink water. My bad. Ayo. I'm surprised I'm lasting this long. Okay. Here it comes. I love that these two have special character stories for each other. I'm delusional like that. Help me. Okay, character story 5. After going bankrupt, Kaveh entered into a period of melancholy. The palace of Alcazar had ever so briefly filled the hole in his heart that had been ripped open by so many things, but it had also proved to him once again that no matter what he gave to attain his ideals, it wasn't enough. Alhaitham said so. He was now directionless and enmeshed in a world where he could not go anywhere without Mara, and yet he was accustomed since his youth to putting on a brave front. And so Kaveh was unwilling to let his colleagues and friends know that he was nigh penniless, even after selling all he owned, and so he went to a tavern where he would order a few bottles and chat to comfort himself. Okay. I'm clapping. One bottle later, he would collapse at the table only to wake up in the exact same position afterward. Lambat! I know him! Jealous. You're jealous. Lambat, the tavern owner, had reserved a seat and a few free drinks for him out of kindness, and as thanks, Kaveh helped him redesign and refit the booth seating area of the tavern's second floor. Jeez. Okay. Kaveh helped redesign and refit the booth. Okay, I'm gonna go there later, maybe, I don't know, if I remember to. He would occasionally meet his friends from his academia schooling days, and with them he would pretend that he was just here to drink and gather inspiration. He would spend over a fortnight in this manner, during which he would encounter that friend that he no longer called friend. I know this all too well. When discussing Kaveh's old friends, I'm still here, I'm just thinking. Okay, when discussing Kaveh's old friends, the current academia scribe Alhaitham of Haravatat will invariably get mentioned. I'm taking too long. Alhaitham enrolled at a later date than most of those his... Oh! I'm trying to calculate, I just know... Okay. Alhaitham enrolled... I know he's 2 years younger, right? If what I saw was true, but it could be wrong. I just know the Kaveh is older. Anyway, Alhaitham enrolled at a later date than most of those his age, but his grades stood out above the rest. People didn't know who he was or where to find him normally, only that he was some student who had gotten high marks. And when his name was mentioned, even the old researchers from Kashariwar would shake their heads and say that he was too intelligent by half and hard to get along with. Let's go here. Oh. At that time, Kaveh had just parted ways with his mother and was living alone. He would meet this junior student in the library at times and would speak to him out of curiosity, and thus did he meet the heredited genius of Alhaitham. That's the air from me clapping. I think. If you can hear it, I don't know. Oh my goodness. But time would go on to prove that wishful thinking alone does not make friends. Yes, Kaveh, Alhaitham isn't that kind of person. Oh, there you go. Okay. But time would go on to prove that wishful thinking alone does not make friends. For Kaveh quickly realized that Alhaitham, though 2 years his junior and admittedly both extremely talented and incredibly gifted, was also utterly different from him, whether it be in personality, dealing with people, academic direction, and convictions. So hard to read. Kaveh's time in school would leave him with a great many memories, the least pleasant of which is the group project they undertook together. Each recognized the other's ability and they decided to conduct research regarding... Alhaitham didn't care about group projects, but he agreed to take a project with Kaveh? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm talking with my HAIKAVEH lenses on. Anyway. Okay, here, I'll just repeat there. Each recognized the other's ability and they decided to conduct research regarding ancient structures, ancient ruins, and linguistics, with Kaveh suggesting that Alhaitham be the one responsible for selecting the topic. At first, others would take also take part. Huh? Am I reading that wrong? My English is gone. Others would also take part in the cooperative project, but as the work progressed, the other students dropped out gradually as they could not keep up. That was the first time Kaveh realized the brutal and also intuitive difference in talent between individuals. I don't know if I'm reading it right. It's not just the two of them? Or it's like they were left with just the two of them. It ended up with two of them, but then it eventually fell out. Okay. Anyway, that was academia linked talent and resources to an extreme degree, and all here knew that. As Alhaitham liked to put it, certain matters have their upper limit determined by talent and their lower bound determined by hard work. Whoa. Oh my gosh, talent and hard work. Ordinary people and geniuses would be separated by various practical realities, and they did not have to force themselves to fit into a group they did not belong to. Kaveh, however, was resolute in his belief that this was all the result of obstacles that appeared during the process, and that wisdom should be uncovered by many people. To prevent the other students from backing out, Kaveh spent much time and effort helping them with their work, placing a great burden on his shoulders. No, Kaveh, no! Alhaitham persisted in upholding the opposite view, believing Kaveh to be too idealistic in his ways. Academia was not charity work, and temporary salvation would not change the reality of their differences in ability. Damn, okay. Thus did discord arise between the two. They're different. Finally, the day came when only two Finally, the day came when only 2 people remained working on the topic, so it is a group. I was saying it's just a duo project. There are a lot of people, but they just dropped out and it ended with just 2 of them. Okay. Finally, the day came when only 2 people remained working on the topic. Alhaitham and Kaveh. Alhaitham and Kaveh. Alhaitham and Kaveh. Alhaitham and Kaveh. The disputes between them accumulated to a critical mass before exploding spectacularly. Kaveh maintained that Alhaitham was too much of an egoist, that he could be much better welcomed amongst people if he would just care about helping out more often. Bro would sit. Alhaitham is good at blue lock. He's an egoist. Egoist. There you go. Alhaitham, for his part, pointed out that Kaveh's impractical idealism was just a flight from reality, and that it would come to be a burden on his existence someday, and that source of Kaveh's altruism was not but his inescapable sense of guilt. How'd you know? At that moment, more than anything else, Kaveh felt cut to the quick by someone who was his best friend. Oh, not the fallout. Alhaitham had seen through the reality that he had never been able to face, causing him Alhaitham had seen through the reality that he had never been able to face, causing him to feel reality's bite for the first time, a feeling that made Kaveh steadfastly declare that he regretted making friends with this also intelligent person. Okay. I already know these. The 2 parted ways in a single stroke. Alhaitham would remove his name from the thesis, while Kaveh would rip his copy of the thesis apart in a fury, only to put it back together with deep regret. He sensed that he would not be able to change his friend, with their words also being true. Afterwards, the 2 would later clash in academic journals, several times, each criticizing the other's perspective. Before this, the decoding the ruins and architectural philosophy of the ruins of King Daeshret's civilization had made great progress. Okay. Its fruits on the linguistics front had filled various gaps in the grammatical logic of some ancient minor languages, allowing for the successful interpretation of many important texts. This is really long. Similarly, the results achieved in architectural studies had successfully improved the load-bearing structures for some special terrain features in Sumeru, which greatly improved the lives of those living in remote regions. To encourage the project, the Academia had even specially designated a research site for its use. Unfortunately, lacking power and a united vision on the part of its primary researchers, it eventually ground to a halt. This failed project became an unavoidable part of Kaveh's past. As the years passed, he was beaten back by reality time and time again. Kaveh was forced to admit that his persistence born of wishful thinking was not always useful. It was only when he was rendered penniless that he finally understood the deeper meaning behind his friend's last words. A person who wished to ascend to the Garden of Heaven upon steps made of thin air would inevitably plant their feet on an empty stair and fall to their deaths. Jeez, okay. As a genius, Kaveh longed to belong in a crowd, subconsciously fearing separation from it. This was the difference between him and Alhaitham. What was that? Individuality and forgot individualism and collectivism. There you go. Okay. I know that. Individualism and collectivism. Returning to the matter of that table in the tavern, Kaveh was deeply shocked to see Alhaitham, who was coincidentally present to purchase some alcohol at this place. I didn't read it properly. Alhaitham, for his part, could immediately tell that Kaveh was in a very bad way. Having been oppressed by life for too long, Kaveh completely unloaded all his woes onto his erstwhile friend right there and then. Uh, looking, I'm not gonna. I just. Okay, well, okay. After all, there was nowhere to hide from his problems. So what use was concealing them in front of the one friend who, with whom he had fallen out so acrimoniously? He would lament about a great many misfortunes that had befallen him, only falling silent when they left the tavern in the dead of night. Sorry. No. Only falling silent when they left the tavern in the dead of night, and his eyes fell upon a place in the distance that he once called home. Alhaitham, on the other hand, listened intently to Kaveh's words, and seeing through him once more, asked him a difficult question. How has realizing your ideals gone for you? I love these two. Only reality can force a researcher to admit that they were wrong, but Kaveh did not know what he should consider reality. He yearned for a fantasy so perfect and beautiful that none need flee it, even if the price of his dream was losing himself. He still firmly believed that his ideals were in themselves not mistaken, and that the fault lay only in the methods used to achieve them. People should not give up, for even if they are doing good in an attempt to make up for something, the results will still have meaning for some. Even if he could not enter that promised land of his ideals, that did not mean the radiance and the attraction of such a realm should be denied. As for those phantasm-like realities, like how he found his homeless self leaving his friend's house by happenstance, or how this house, now under the scribe's name, had been converted from that same research center the academia had offered them back in the day, or how this this is so long. How this excess academic asset would not have been turned into a residence at all after numerous transactions had Kaveh not resolved to give it up, or how, knowing full well that Alhaitham never did perform a good deed unconditionally, Kaveh would be plagued by guilty conscience and proactively mention helping with household chores, only to become saddled with all these domestic errands. These might be an annoyance for some at a low point in life, but they are also proof the most unshakable part of one's past is a friend that will never change. Rationality and sensibility, language and architecture, knowledge and human feelings, things that can never be integrated, are what constitute the two sides of the mirror of the entire world. I don't know how to explain this. Knowing their personalities, Alhaitham taking the time to listen to Kaveh's ramblings, Alhaitham preferring to live a quiet and peaceful life. That's why he stayed as a scribe, but he still has Kaveh. Well, because he said it's a research topic, but still, both of them having a whole character story with them, like constantly mentioned, and how both of them are two sides of the mirror. I'm out of words. I'm always out of words. Rationality and sensibility. So, I guess here I just noticed. So, Alhaitham and Kaveh. Alhaitham, rationality, language, knowledge, And Kaveh is sensibility, architecture, and human feelings. I love these too. This is why I can't. Again, as the shaver, I can't take any other ship that doesn't have the two of them. And I prefer Alhaitham and Kaveh too much that even I'm sick of it. The reason I read this is because maybe I'll finally move on from them, but they're making me go way too deeper now. Even though I've already read parts of why they both just make sense together, I hate it. I love them, I hate it. Things that can never be integrated are what constitute the two sides of the mirror, indeed of the entire world. So his character story 5 for Alhaitham. I forgot which ones. Let's finish this first. Old sketchbook. Oh my gosh, it's so long. Help me. I can't read anymore. Old sketchbook. That's like my throat actually hurts. Anyway, old sketchbook. I think old sketchbook with a leather cover. It does not merely contain doodles, but also some clippings. Its owner must have been using it as a sort of scrapbook of memorabilia. Wait, isn't Faranak his mother's name? I think I wrote that down somewhere. I forgot where though. Faranak. Let me. Yes, I did write it down. Damn. Okay, Faranak is Kaveh's mother's name. See? It is his mother. Page 1. Architectural drawing basics. Author Faranak. Postscript. Mother's book. Is it just me, or does the cover seem to be a bit washed out? Page 15. A simple drawing that shows a person falling into quicksand. It is hidden because in the pages before and after using it must have been stuck together using glue. Making me sad again. Postscript. Father, forgive me. I don't know what I should write in order to... Please forgive me. Page 26. A topic application form. Postscript. A fine beginning. Such an intelligent collaborator is hard to come by. That's Alhaitham. Page 31. Some academic notes and architectural drawings. Postscript. Our views are aligned and they are complete. This line has been struck out. Oh! Our views are contradictory, but it is true that I'm adding words. But it is through contradiction that more speculation and philosophy may be born. This line has been retained. Page 42. The cover of a thesis. Aww. The cover of a thesis that has been torn up. Then put together again, no poster. This is the paper that he torn out of fury because of Alhaitham. But he was then regretful that he did that. Okay, page 47, an excerpt from a school publication. The original title is unknown, and the preserved content is as follows. The selfish cannot understand wisdom's final destination. Though all of us might claim to have a place in this great hall of learning, we must understand that it is people, and not knowledge, that make our world what it is. Without a vessel, knowledge shall have no home. Universal values must naturally have some merit to be named such, and denying their general meaning does not mean that minority viewpoints will arise accordingly. This is the case with aesthetics. Beauty is something objective that exists in human hearts. It will not lose its value simply because some people cannot understand it. To view oneself as some mighty vessel is to fall to the narrowness of the researcher. Know that truth has never existed for the sake of individuals. The logic of the world coexists with nature and the soul. not easily change whether it is interpreted as such or not. I'm suddenly being reminded, am I reading Alhaitham's thing right now? What the excessive belief in the object is self-disclosure just the same, and a manifestation of a lack of confidence in the subject. Moreover, one who is sufficiently self-confident will not need to use plural forms of address, such as we. I alone am sufficient to sustain this position. This I can assert. Wait. That doesn't sound like Kaveh. Sorry, wait. Page, what is this, 47? An excerpt. Wait, let me just look it up. Excerpt meaning a piece of writing. Well, makes sense. So, wait a minute. Was this written by Alhaitham? Is this? Wait, no. I don't know. I'm just being delusional at this point. Well, I've been delusional since the beginning. But because this, like, where is it? Oh my gosh, where am I? That sentence here? Moreover, one who is sufficiently self-confident will not need to use constant plural forms of address such as we. I alone am sufficient to sustain this position. The second other. That feels like an Alhaitham sentence, right? I'm like even doubting myself now. Anyway, page 56. A hand-drawn sketch of the academia. Oh, postscript. I shall probably not return to work here, but I do hope that I can return to this place as a speaker on a pulpit one day. The 20 pages that follow are full of work timetables and notes that accompany pictures. The handwriting goes from precise to messy, indicating that time is growing tighter and the one writing the works is busy. Is busy with work. Page 85. Aww, a sketch too lovely to be called such. It appears to be some mighty construction of construction in miniature. Postscript workable, but requires far too many resources. Details to be considered. Page 91. Messy doodles all over the place, no postscript. Page 92. A real estate transfer certificate. Oh, is it Dove House? Postscript. This might be impulsive of me, but I cannot refuse this possibility that fills me with so much hope. May everything go smoothly. Page 101. 101. Some small doodles. Postscript. I'm done for. I can't draw. I won't draw tomorrow. No. Page 107. Interior design images. This appears to be the second floor of Lombard's Tavern. Postscript. Could I ever do anything better? You're doing great, sweetie. Page 112. Rent records. Postscript. Oh! Postscript. I mean, I wouldn't call this a bad thing, but how did things turn out like this? That guy definitely wouldn't take me in for no reason and without expecting anything. But what could I possibly do for him? Page 115. Suitcase design draft. Merak is an ancient word, one I have used as the name for this suitcase. It means little light. Aww, more than anything, I hope it really can understand what I'm saying. This is page 112. Okay. Isn't it? One of the story here said Kaveh can't accept goodwill because if it does, he just feels guilty about it. But then, I don't know. So if Alhaitham like treated him as if like he's doing goodwill, I guess. So Kaveh is just gonna feel guilty about it. That's why Alhaitham makes him pay rent, even though Kaveh does own it, but he did drop it, so it doesn't really own it. But still, Alhaitham asks for the rent just so it lessens the burden on Kaveh. But that's my take. Vision. Oh no! Oh no! Maestro! I'm giving in. Vision. While he was still a student, Kaveh would often be busy with various projects. During this time, he would visit numerous ruins with fellow students. They were all very young at the time and were as yet unable to descend to the heart of the tombs, but they managed to achieve significant results nonetheless. However, the study of ancient ruins comes with its risks, and they would find themselves imperiled despite their professionalism. During one such search, the student team encountered some danger, and there was a cave-in. If not for Kaveh pushing two fellow Sharawar students out of the tomb, they would surely have died there. As for Kaveh himself, though he also escaped with some light injuries, he could not stop his fellow students' change of heart. He believed that he was helping them achieve results, but instead most of his fellow students saw only a perceived difference in ability, and troubled by the situation, they elected to quit the project. Yikes. Okay. They pressured, I guess. Kaveh knew of the objects known as visions. He had originally thought that they would appear at moments of crisis, but he had been through one such mortal crisis already. He had not received the favor of the gods, but instead had to use all his strength to drag everyone out of the fire. Years later, Kaveh graduated, left the academia, and threw himself into his work. He had by then ceased to think about visions for some time, or even consider further as to what kind of people would come into possession of such an item. People said that only those with a wish could receive divine favor this way. Perhaps he was just not such a person. Everything that happened after flowed like a stream of water, dull and unchanging. He would busy himself with design work and for a while becoming overwhelmed with the lack of acknowledgement of the arts, causing him to feel fatigued. His mother would set up a new family in Fontaine, leaving the house and her other possessions to him, her son. He could do nothing about these things, and they also felt unremarkable and unworthy of mention. This persisted till the day the first version of the palace of Alcazar was destroyed by the withering, and he was sitting upon the wreck of that building, contemplating the whole night through. Suddenly he would resolve to boldly bet it all on chasing the dream before him, come what may. Thus did he return home and quickly hit up the relevant departments to put things in order. Coincidentally, that day was a smooth one for transactions, and Kaveh spent only half a day transferring ownership of his house, coming to possess a sum of more that he would later redirect to that project. After settling a host of trivial matters, Kaveh would return to the old home he had lived in for many years for the final time. He would use flatbread to place a simplified... Oh, this one! He would place... Wait, where am I? He would use flatbread to place a simplified palace of Alcazar upon his plate, drizzled with sauce and yogurt, making himself a beautiful snack in the process. The dish was not hard, and he had been taught to make it by his father in his youth. He had not made that dish much since his father's passing, and it was merely impulse that guided him to give it a try that day. This was not his favorite dish exactly, but a sudden bitterness stole its way up to his throat when he made to smash the flatbread palace and start eating. Within the shattered bread palace lay a shimmering vision. Kaveh stared at it, unable to believe his eyes. It had arrived quite a furious late, but here it still lay before him, as gorgeous as some fantastic sky realm. And thankfully it was a lot closer to him than his ideals were. I'm so tired. Hold on. I especially had a hard time reading about his passing again. I skimmed through it the first time back then, but now that I read it properly, let's go to this. It really hurts. It hurts like reading. Let's go start.
I'm glad you gave me a chance. I always think it takes people with similar tastes to sustain a pleasant conversation. Nice to meet you. I'm Kaveh, an architect. If you have a project you'd like me to work on, then I'll need a detailed description of what you have in mind. The ability to appreciate beauty is an important virtue. It's good to get out and stretch your legs once in a while. People aren't made to stay cooped up inside all the time. My latest design's getting there, but there's still room for improvement. Better make my finishing touches before the deadline creeps up. Huh? When did it start to rain? Oh no, I forgot to bring an umbrella.
Oh,
Did you see that? That bolt of lightning was such an interesting shape.
I do like look at the shapes.
Feels like the wind's creeping in from the back of my shirt. And also the front.
I wonder why the front. I wonder why. I wonder.
I get dizzy and sleepy when I'm under the sun for too long. It's a similar feeling to pulling an all-nighter on a work project.
Bro, just a while ago, when I went out to buy food, I was so dizzy I wanted to just pass out side of the road.
This isn't my first trek into the desert, but I can never get used to the heat. Is there no shade anywhere? Did you sleep well? I hope you have a great day today, and that you don't run into someone who ruins your day first thing in the morning. This midday sun is fierce. I should go check on the building materials I left out to dry.
What?
There's supposed to be a great view of the stars tonight. Don't you think that's a good omen? Relax your mind and let go of all your troubles. Have a good night. It's fair to say I'm a pretty proud person when it comes to my area of expertise. Most scholars are when talking about their chosen fields. After all, we build our whole lives around it. I mean, if I ever stopped taking pride in my own work, then I would also forfeit the right to have any expectations of myself or anyone else. Aesthetic isn't the #1 priority in my work, and nor should it be. Quality and safety are paramount. But I never neglect the artistic side either. That's what sets my work apart from others.
I'm glad that people can relate to this architecture side.
You must have seen the Palace of Alcazarzaray before. That's my magnum opus. I sacrificed so much for that. Everyone else thought I'd lost my mind. Well, if you're not me, and you don't share my trade, I wouldn't expect you to understand. It'd be nice to meet someone who did understand, though. I've always thought that you can never truly know a person until you understand their deepest wishes. But once you start exploring hopes and dreams, whether they're your own or someone else's, it can be a dangerous journey. You might unlock something that can't be put away again. Not everyone can face the potential consequences of that. I almost don't want to say this out loud, but sometimes hopes and dreams bring suffering instead of happiness. Luckily, I don't mind my vision.
I know that too much. The part where sometimes hopes and dreams bring suffering instead of happiness. And it sucks.
People who know what drives them to create deserve our respect. Wouldn't you agree?
I don't deserve your respect.
The uninitiated often assume that the expertise of Kasharawar architects starts with clay and ends with lumber. It's such an ignorant perspective that it's not even worth arguing against. If all it took to build a house was to smoosh a few random materials together, there'd be no need for this discipline in the first place. As well as being one of the building blocks of human culture and civilization, architecture is also an art form. Art does not exist in a vacuum, so I've always been mindful of the experiential factor for the occupants, and the emotional character conveyed to those looking on from the outside. Oh, and I'm always looking for better ways to integrate artistic expression and practical functionality.
This was a long one. Also, really like I'm scared to type to this. Get started with this.
Lesser Lord Kusanali is a wise and capable god. Not only is she extremely knowledgeable, she also possesses virtue far beyond mortal comprehension. I have only the utmost respect for her tolerance of others, especially in a nation of learning like Sumeru. That takes great equanimity. Sometimes, though, I do stop to wonder, surely even the gods must have their struggles too. Oftentimes, confusion is the beginning of wisdom, in which case, how can we ever achieve true happiness?
We can never. Oh,
I guarantee you'll never meet anyone else who's as infuriating as him. And for the record, yes, I would say that to his face. Sure, he's smart, and sure, geniuses often come with a bad temper. But that's only half the story with him. He knows perfectly well how to appear friendly and likable to others, he just doesn't want to. If he ever gives you the impression that he doesn't really have a temper, or that he's rigidly logical like a machine, then you just don't know him well enough yet. He definitely has a personality. It's just too big a personality. Most people wouldn't get it.
I know. Only you can get it. I get you, Kaveh.
Alhaitham helped me out a fair amount recently. If we were still as close as we were during our student days, then I'd be thanking him every chance I got. Now, though, I can't seem to get a word of appreciation out of my mouth. Even if I could, I wouldn't want to give him the satisfaction. I guess you could say our relationship is something of a mixed bag these days. Honestly, with everything that's happened, it almost feels like the universe has been playing pranks on us. It's hard to make sense of it all. Too much to process for one lifetime. I will say that it's not every day that you get to know someone like him. I just wish he could rein in some of the worst excesses of his personality. Okay, yeah, that's never gonna happen.
Wait, what the fuck? I just realized this. It's complicated. Bro, isn't that a common saying? Wait. It's like a relation. Eesh. I still wait, Rowan. I was just whatever. I'm just like I said, HAIKAVEH lenses. Okay, HAIKAVEH lenses. Sorry, I just realized that. But okay. Also, this part, I guess, I hope you see that. People really love it.
Ah, Tainari. He's one of the nicest guys you could know. If you've met him, you'll know what I mean. He's kind, and he has enormous expertise in his field, but he never brags about it in front of other people. And he seems to genuinely care about his work. Back when I was building the Palace of Alcazarzare, I asked him for some tips on how to pick out the right ornamental plants. After he wrote back to me, he also helped me out with some other issues too. Oh, and I almost forgot. He was the one who first introduced me to Sino.
Of course he was.
Dory is the owner of the Palace of Alcazarzare. Excuse me? Mine? Oh, no, don't be ridiculous. I know full well that it doesn't belong to me. I know, but... Oh, please, let's not go there. Dory is a shrewd one. She knows how to coerce others into doing things for her. For various reasons, I now owe her a large sum of money. It all got quite complicated in the end, but... anyway, I wish she'd show me a little mercy and stop making my life a misery for the sake of Mora. I swear, she doesn't seem like a bad person at heart, so... I just don't understand. How did she turn out like this?
Oh boy, what did you want to know?
Sino can come across as cold and ruthless, but he's actually a very big-hearted guy. I still remember how shocked I was when Tainari said he was going to introduce me to his best friend, and then a couple of seconds later, an incredibly intimidating Matra comes walking through the door. I honestly never expected to meet a Matra who's so comfortable hanging out with scholars. Gotta say, though, I can't stand his sense of humor. It really makes my skin crawl. If he ever invites you to a meal at Tainari's place, make sure someone's bringing beer, because no one should have to endure Sino's humor while sober.
Bro, the traveler can drink.
I've met Kale quite a few times now. As Tainari's student and assistant, she follows him everywhere. With her diligence and patience, she's much more responsible than most other kids her age. But, I can also tell that she's got a lot going on inside.
Yeah.
Nilu's talent as a dancer is indisputable. Zubair Theater really lucked out when they recruited her. I've heard that she has a great personality, too. She always smiles and says encouraging things to her audience when she's performing. Once I can find some time, I'll have to catch one of her shows.
I also love the headcanon that he's best friends with Nilu. I love it so much. But, oh gosh, the A's.
Madame Faruzan doesn't mince her words, so I can understand why some students at the academia are afraid of her. She doesn't have any bad intentions, though. All she wants is to devote herself completely to the research that interests her. Some people say that all her Avatat scholars are hard to get along with, and, I'll let you be the judge of that. I assume she's already asked you to be her student? She sure is a little intense when she's doing the hard sell, huh? But she can walk the walk, too. She really does know her stuff. You heard that I've earned myself a little fame in Sumeru? Don't believe everything you hear. They're exaggerating, trust me. It's easy enough to make a name for yourself in Sumeru if you stick around here long enough. Honestly, I think managing to keep a low profile would be more of an achievement. I hope you didn't hear about me because of my bankruptcy scandal, though.
Well,
If you're actually willing to hear me out, I could tell you about some of my more redeeming qualities.
oh, I know them. Okay, I know them.
You're not thinking about enrolling in the academia, are you?
No.
Well, if you do sign up, from a pragmatic standpoint, I'd have to advise you to steer well clear of design. Don't get me wrong, it's a fascinating subject to study, but the work is brutal. I spent some time working under one of my seniors after I first graduated, and they worked me to the bone every day. I was constantly being ordered around like a pack animal. I really don't know how I survived for as long as I did.
Okay. I should just say it. In his hangout, when all four of them were talking about Kali's Darshan thing, he just wanted to say, don't get into the architecture.
While everyone's aesthetic preferences differ to a point, beauty is, on the whole, a pretty concrete concept. I do think it's possible to establish some basic objective aesthetic standards. It's possible to improve your aesthetic appreciation, too, although it takes a lot of time to get the experience. If you ever need any advice on that front, by the way, you're always welcome to come to me. Some people think I like to stir up trouble, but they don't know what they're talking about. Anyone trying to make any sort of progress in life is inevitably going to come into conflict with other people from time to time. You can't just ignore the situation because you don't want to deal with it.
I got the trace again, let's go.
I like to have a drink or two when I've got the time. It's a good way to de-stress. Oh, yeah, I mean, mostly just to pass the time. What's that look for? All right, I admit it. Maybe I do drown my sorrows a little more often than I was letting on. It all gets a bit too much sometimes, what with the unfinished projects, obstacles that I can't overcome, misunderstandings with other people. Don't you struggle with those kinds of things as well?
I mean, I do too, but also, alcohol just makes me dizzy. So it doesn't really feel good for me, or a good way to distress, per se, I guess.
Music, architecture, sculpting, painting, all are worth taking the time to appreciate properly. I wouldn't say I'm an expert in all of them, but as long as I stay interested, maybe I can master them all one day. I mean, look, I already know how to play an instrument.
This is the first time oh my gosh, that scared me. First time I'm interrupting this. But this is the instrument he was talking about. Yeah! Okay, let me continue. Oh bad. I didn't want to interrupt him. Oh no! Wait!
You're not thinking about... While everyone's aesthetic preferences differ to a point...
Wait.
Some people think I like to have...
Oh yeah.
Music,
Okay,
architecture, sculpting,
Okay, Kaveh. I got lost.
My troubles? The most obvious one would be my financial situation. It's not that I can't make more, it's just I can't seem to hold on to it. So many things in life require money, and if you're not careful, it just disappears.
Yep.
Don't worry about me, though. I'm a lot better than I used to be. I'll be more careful to live within my means in the future. My favorites are alcohol, warm soup, and anything with cream or cheese in it. Oh, and I'll never say no to fresh fruit.
Well, it's not like he reads as much as Alhaitham, so of course he likes warm soup.
I can't deal with anything that's too hot or spicy. If I have to eat them, I leave them to cool first, so I at least don't burn my tongue.
I agree with that. But the spicy, I guess I can't deal with too much spice. But if it tastes good, it's nice. I like it. Yeah, but yeah, I avoid as much as possible burning my tongue because I hate it. I hate that feeling.
This is marvelous. Can you teach me how to make it?
Maybe.
I
No,
bet this would go great with a glass of wine.
a warm soup?
Huh? It's,
I can't say it.
Is it your birthday today? Well, congratulations! Birthdays are important days, and it's also one of those days in the year that gets you thinking about your family. However you spend today, I hope it makes you happy. This'll do nicely. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Got any more where that came from?
Dendrohypostasis? And those morning flowers?
My horizons have been broadened. I hope I can hold on to this feeling.
Goodness.
Scanning! Come at me!
Oh! Come in, sorry.
Sight clear! Watch and learn! Breaking new ground! Feast your eyes! A new discovery. What a lucky find. Bet that's made your day.
Like 2 primos from a common chest.
This is incredible. No, extraordinary.
Okay.
How annoying. That was your last chance. Shoo!
She.
Leave this to me. Get behind me.
Oh no, my brain went another way.
So many things I never accomplished. Why?
It's why.
Don't crush my dreams. Hey, cut it out. I've been through worse. Need a hand?
Oh,
I'll take care of this. Is that the client? Wait. Oh, it's you.
it is. I forgot what this instrument is called. Oh yeah, don't mind me. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, I remember the voice actor saying that he intentionally changed the way he's speaking when it comes to Alhaitham. Good night, and just other stuff. And it's really cool. I love it. Pretty. Also, isn't this the desk that he's using in his birthday art? This part here is seen in this birthday art. I would have thought that was his desk over there, but I guess he uses this too. I mean, from the official birthday art. I don't know, man. Could have drawn it from this part here. But no, it's over there. So it's sitting there. It's pretty cool. So they share desks. I mean, not like Alhaitham would use this. He's the landlord, the owner of this house. So obviously would use the bigger desks. Desk. This is Alhaitham's side with all the books. Kaveh has the fruits. Oh, CCG! They have a CCG box here. That's so cute. Oh, wait, they have the Korean, right? Korean official art of the two of them playing CCG. Yee! I love their friendship. Oh, also this one is the Kaveh's mother's box. I don't know what these are, but this is obviously Kaveh's side of the house and Alhaitham's. Right? Let me in. Let me in. Let me in. Let me in. Okay, now what do I do? Oh, my teapot voice lines. I should do that. Leave Alhaitham so. Oh, it's turning night now. Okay. Well, this is nice. Let's go to the teapot. Oh my gosh. Oh, what? Haha, if you can see that. I might as well read all of these now in one video. I did this on impulse. Well, actually, I thought about doing this video yesterday or last night, but I just thought to do it now. Oh. Yeah, it's just not enough space. Oh, it's fine. Okay. Anyway, these are the 3 desert foxes from the Parade of Providence event. Oh! Home? You have to go back home? I know, right? Let's talk to Alhaitham. Hello. Alhaitham first.
Hello.
Ugh, Lumin.
It's nice and quiet here. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, do you like it here?
It's alright.
Of course.
I see that you opted for a diverse range of decorative styles. Doesn't entirely suit my preferences, but that's fine with me.
It's not like...
It's hard to say.
I didn't say anything.
I value practicality. Aesthetics aren't generally something I put into consideration.
Gosh, they're so opposite.
But that's just my personal inclination. It may not work for you. After all, I'm not familiar with every single detail of your life.
True. Just say it's true.
The top priority when furnishing a space is the owner's satisfaction.
Yeah.
Everything else is secondary.
At least continue to talk, damn it.
Hello.
Yeah,
It's
hello.
nice and quiet here.
Yeah. Would you like to we were already chatting a while ago. Would you like to chat, I guess?
Sure, if you're mentally prepared.
The heck?
But before you say anything, I'm not very interested in small talk. If you need something, just get to the point. As for whether I'll help, it'll depend on the situation.
Is that mentality because of work?
You could say it's the product of life experience. If you want to live at a more leisurely pace, you can try copying a page or 2 from my book.
Hello?
Hello. It's nice.
Shut up. Would you like to chat?
Sure, but as for whether I'll help, it'll depend on the situation.
Is that something you learned through interacting with others?
Is it? I don't think I'd gain experience this valuable from standard social interactions. But now, you've learned something by interacting with me. Congratulations.
Bro, this guy pisses me off.
Hello. It's nice and...
Yeah. At least let me continue your conversation and then end it when I want to. Is there anything you want to do?
I already do what I want every day, so I can't think of a substantial answer to that question right away.
That rhymed.
I'm content with things as they are now.
You are? How come? I thought... Never mind. You don't seem very busy most of the time.
Oh. Do I give you that kind of impression?
No, that's just the dialogue option.
Very well then. I don't like having my hands full. It interferes with my thinking process. But that reminds me. I need to make myself look like I'm always occupied, so I can avoid things I don't want to do and people I don't want to interact with.
No way. I do that.
You, on the other hand, have a vast social circle, so you must run into difficult people quite often.
Well, that's just Lumin, not me. Is there a solution to that?
I suggest that you ask them a few questions that they'll never find exact answers to. Once you divert their attention and energy into other matters, they should leave you alone rather quickly.
Thank you. That was very helpful.
Don't mention it. To some extent, I want everyone to lead the lives they want to live.
Oh.
That way, people will cause
Oh.
fewer headaches for each other.
That's. Well, actually, sometimes people want to live causes headaches for each other. That's kind of sad. That's a pretty unique way of thinking.
I figure most people would think similarly.
Wow, Alhaitham, you know what?
Wouldn't it be great to live in a world without annoyances?
Wouldn't it be? Let's say good morning.
Hello.
Shut up.
It's nice and...
Shh.
Good morning. It looks like you already have everything planned out for today.
No.
Having things to do means you're being productive, while an empty schedule indicates a more leisurely day.
Yes.
Both are fine choices. I wish you all the best.
Thanks. Now let me talk. Oh gosh. Yo, face me. This land. What do you mean? What's wrong with it?
Hello.
Bro!
It's nice and...
Get away!
Good morning.
This way.
Having things to do both are fine.
That was my fault.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, this. Oh, the way they said hello differently.
This place sure is interesting.
Interestingly designed. How do you like it here?
I'm still getting used to it all.
I don't remember the other dialogue options for other characters. Do they all just look the same?
Never have I seen a place where you can decorate to your heart's whimsy. You don't understand what this means to an architect like me. It blows my mind. So much free space for building and designing. It's like a sketchbook that'll never run out of pages.
But its limited capacity sucks.
I guess what I really want to say is, I'm so grateful that you invited me here as your guest.
Relax the formalities and make yourself at home.
That might not be the best idea.
How come?
To be perfectly honest with you, my blood has been boiling with excitement ever since I first stepped foot in this realm.
So if I let you let loose, just gonna go crazy.
Guess it's a designer's instinct. I mean, if you ask me, I think all artistic folks are kinda like this.
I can't see their faces, damn it.
Looking at your realm, all I can think about are things like architectural composition and facade designs.
Oh, I remember a French guy saying Fausolar. And the C in Fausolar has this thing.
Speaking of which, can I see your gardens and ponds? Or how about your water fountains? If you don't mind, tell me what you had in mind when decorating your realm.
I did have a few thoughts.
I want to know the reasoning behind why you arranged the roads and buildings like this.
Oh no, this is a lot of dialogue that I'm gonna start here. I'm sorry I threw everything together on a whim.
Whim? Wait, why would you just put things together on a whim? None of this was planned? When it comes to design, placement shouldn't be arbitrary. Oh, don't tell me. The boundless potential of this place has robbed you of your principles and pride as a creator?
I'm so mad.
I see now. These weirdly spaced furnishings, and all the things that seemingly serve no purpose.
These seemingly no purpose, actually.
It's okay. I'll chalk it up to you having a unique sense of style.
Thanks. These two, I just placed this because of the realm stuff. Jeez.
Hello.
How do you like it here?
I'm still... Never have I... It
Sorry,
blows
let me
my...
just
I guess what I
continue
really
to
want
the-
to say is, to be perfectly... Guess it's, looking at your... Speaking of which, I want to know the reasoning behind why you arranged the roads and buildings like this.
I arranged them using the insights I've gained on my journey. Nope.
I see. Taking what you've learned from your travels and applying them to your principles of design. Oh, excellent. You have the eye for this kind of work. If the life of an architect wasn't so difficult, I'd recommend that you enroll in formal study.
Oh, it just ends. Oh no.
Hello. It's nice and...
Bro, today... Sorry.
Good
no,
morning.
no, shut up.
Having
Shut
things
up.
to do,
Shut
both
up.
are fun.
Wasting time. Well, I'm always wasting time.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, I love the difference in their hellos.
I'm still... Never have I... It blows my... I guess what I really want to say is... to be perfect, I guess it's, looking at your realm. Speaking of which, I want to know the reasoning behind why you arrange the roads and buildings like this.
I didn't feel like the Palace of Alcazar was all that impressive. You...
What did you say?
I didn't mean it. I was forced to choose the dialogue option.
Ahem. It's fine. It's fine. People have different tastes. I can't force you to like my style. Besides, some aspects of it are difficult to appreciate unless you have a certain level of understanding about aesthetics. I'm not so easily offended. Pff.
I can't do it. Bro side-eyed me. Hello, bro. Oh, this looks nice.
Hello.
No.
It's nice and quiet here.
Oh no, but actually, like, but there's literally nothing here. He's just disappointed.
Look, I've been pretending that you know something about decorating, so can't you play along too? I'm an architect. I build and design things. Seeing your home devoid of anything makes me feel really sad. Can't you try, just a little? Don't let such a wondrous space go to waste.
Can't you try? Oh, he just said smile. Oh, sure, bro. Can't I like zoom in when they're talking? You gotta face me. Face me.
Hello.
How would you like to have a chat with? We were having a chat this
Sure. Anything you want to talk about?
about you and
It's probably best if I don't pick the topic of conversation. I've had people tell me that I just end up rambling on endlessly about my profession.
tell me about your life, then.
My life? There's a lot I could talk about, but I don't know where to start. I guess I'll share this. There was once a time in my life when I lived in abject poverty. Bankruptcy led to many a misfortune. In this world, if you don't have money, you essentially have no dignity. I hated living like that, but I also had no quick way out of that situation. Every day was a struggle between my ego and my reality. I had a lot of pride about being a master architect, so I detested the idea of doing anything else for a living. Only later did I learn about the more difficult aspects of life. I was far more idealistic during my years as a student. I hate to admit it, but an overly naive person cannot survive in this world. Sorry. I didn't mean to take the conversation to such a heavy place. Please, pretend I didn't say anything. Hello. Sure. It's probably best if I don't pick the topic of conversation. I've had people tell me that I just end up rambling on endlessly about my profession.
Tell me about what you like.
Things I like. I recently bought a new coffee grinder. It's been great.
Oh! Is that the thing you used to taste test with Alhaitham? Coffee beans you gave out on your birthday?
It's so elaborately made, and most importantly, each component is perfectly in its place. It doesn't have any extra screws or parts, and it grinds beans quickly and silently. It was a great purchase. I left the house in a hurry today, so I didn't bring anything with me. I'll bring you some finely ground coffee next time.
You already... Well, they weren't finely ground coffee, but they were coffee beans. I should have chose this angle with them.
Hello.
Anything you want to do?
I want to go to the most distant point from here. With such a fantastical realm, I want to know where its boundaries roughly lie. It's not every day you come across technology like this. If it could be replicated one day for architectural projects. Sumeru's buildings can be divided into several primary categories. Buildings in the rainforest are mostly wooden, while those in Sumeru City and Port Ormos are generally made of stone. You've been to Port Ormos, right? Its lighthouse is a paradigm of Sumeru's architecture. I was responsible for its last round of renovations.
He does talk about his profession.
Although we managed to renovate the building's weathered exterior, restoring the lighthouse's heavily eroded foundation was a massive struggle. There was only so much we could do. If only we had a place with a stable foundation and an unobstructed view. We could then experiment with builds to improve the lighthouse's structure.
It sounds like you made this teapot much more than I do.
In some ways, yes. But I'd never try to buy this place from you, even if I had the Mora to do so. This little magical teapot must have a special place in your heart.
You could say it's my home. And Madame Pink gave it to us.
Home, huh?
Oh,
I've designed many houses for others, but a house isn't really the same thing as a home.
yeah.
A house can simply be a pile of wood on a plot of land, but a home cannot exist without inhabitants. The presence of people is what turns a house into a home.
Exactly why you need to live with someone.
I heard that you embarked on your journey to reunite with your sibling. While I cannot completely relate to your situation, the yearning for loved ones is a universal feeling. I pray that your dream soon comes true, that you find your brother and have him in your life again.
Thank you, Kaveh. Can we commission you when that time comes?
Of course! When that day does come, I won't charge you any commission fees. I'm sure your happiness alone will be more than enough for me.
No way, I'm gonna give you more. What the heck? I'm gonna pay you. You broke up. Happiness can buy you shit. Well,
Hello.
no,
It's nice
Alhaitham,
and quiet.
get away.
Good night. It's
Bye.
fine if you...
Babe.
Hello.
Yes. Good night, Kaveh.
You've worked hard. Take some well-deserved rest.
Wait,
Cast your troubles to the wayside, and let yourself fall into the sweet embrace of sleep. You might see things in a new light once you wake up.
I just realized.
Hello. It's nice and...
This good night. Good night, Alhaitham.
Good night. It's fine if you can't fall asleep. Tomorrow will come regardless.
True. But I sometimes like sleeping early to fast forward the day. But then I also don't like sleeping late. Wait, no. Sleeping late because it takes too long for the next thing. Kaveh.
Hello.
Good morning, Kaveh.
Good morning. A new day brings new tasks and responsibilities.
Remind me of that?
A little tip, take your time. Everything will get done.
Sure, thanks. Oh, bro. You're done. Well, this looks nice. I'm sorry. No, wait. Man. Bro. Work with me. This is just gonna turn into a picture taking session. I think that's all the dialogue. Is there a good afternoon here? should I try? I mean, I might as well try. Oh, it's include the desert foxes. Bro got hands on hips. Hand on hips. Hand on hip. Is there an afternoon? Kaveh.
Hello.
Nope, still morning.
Good morning. A little tip.
Yeah. Thank you. The silence is that. I don't know what else to do. I really got emotional in Kaveh's story part. Now what? Oh, plants. I don't know.
Wait.
Yeah, I know. That is Rabbit Night of Ksharawar. I've had this signature for a while now. Well, actually, I had this as Acting Grand Sage X Light of Ksharawar instead. but because I've done the quest where he's not the action grand sage anymore, I just put him as scribe because of what he is. Do I end it here? I'll end it here. Is it still here? That was my old chat. Hide character. Bro really has his hand on hips. Na na na. Oh no, I made it wrong. That. Thank you for... No. I just can't shut up about them. I just did this because I wanted to gush about them. RT and QRT too much of their fan arts. And actually read some of the thread pics that appear. But it's not like I actively look for them. But I read them when they appear, or if I actually want to. So that one's fun. I just love their relationship so much. Well, their canon relationship as friends, I like it. I still like it. Well, as roommates too. Well, more on roommates because the relationship is complicated. But I like whatever they are together. Also, Saino and Sainari. Just the four of them, the friendship of four of them, just has a special place in my heart. I like all of them, but especially these two. They make me feel fluffy, and I like fluffy. It's good fluffy. Should I say bye now? It was really overwhelming. A lot. Oh, it was hard to read. For Kaveh especially. I can't... You say bye now?